Today I'm going to be looking at some of the best players in the Neo Egoist League, and I'm going to judge who amongst these players is truly the best. Now for a quick rundown on how this works, I'm limiting this list to just bluelock players, so no new Gen 11 or Masters like Noel Noah or Snuffy. With that being said, let's move on to the video. Oh, and PS, this will contain spoilers from the bluelock manga, so watch with caution. And also this video is looking at players who are currently the best in the NL at the time of writing, in my opinion. So it is likely to change based off newer chapters in the manga. Now to start the list off, we're going to be looking at number 14, who is none other than Gagamaru again. Now he's valued at around 32 million, which I believe is a pretty good price considering he's been in the post as a keeper. And this makes sense considering that during the third selection, Ego himself said that he has the build, reflex and skill needed to be a goalkeeper. But then again, this didn't stop him from putting up a world-class performance for Bayern Munich in the Neo Egoist League. In my opinion, I think this is definitely earned him a spot on this list. At number 13 is Jobe Ryu. Once again, a player who hasn't been in the limelight for some time and has since gone from playing his role as an attacker to that of a defender. Though under the system of Mark Snuffy, Ryu more or less seems to be thriving as he did work hard and was a key factor in the match against Bayern Munich. And though we didn't see the full match against Manchester City or Barca, it's quite clear from the scores that defensively, Ubers are the best, which makes sense considering that Italian football is more defensive than any other league. With all that being said, I wouldn't think of it as being wrong to place him here on this list. At 12 is Niko, who is more or less similar to Ryu in the regard that they both are playing as defenders, a position they aren't usually accustomed to, but have still proved just how good they are, and are some of the best defenders in the Neo Egoist League, at least in my opinion. And Niko is still developing, but he has the potential to be a deadly player, as we've seen with Isagi. He's even shown that he has the potential to master metavision, an ability he recently obtained, but he's gonna need to get his mentality right if he wants to reach that level anytime soon. At 11 on this list is Ranzei Kuruna. Now, this might be an upset for a lot of people because most people would look at the NEL ranking and would notice that Ryu is valued higher than Kuruna. While that might be true, it's only a difference of 1,000 yen. And I don't want to write off Kuruna despite the fact that not many people give him the recognition that he deserves. He's a key player in the Bayern Munich attack and midfield, just as much as any other player like Kaiser or Isagi. Many people forget that he is on the field, and his link-up plays have been one of the main reasons Isagi has been able to do what he does. I'm not saying Isagi isn't good without Kuruna, but only Kuruna is able to link up with Isagi that well. Other than Hiri, that is, but that's despite the point. What I'm saying is that arguably Kuruna has performed way more than I expected, and I think that puts him above Ryu in my opinion. But if you don't agree, that's completely fine. At number 10 is Yukima Kenyu. Although he had a rough start to the NEL, he did later pick up the pace in the match against City, where his ideals and ego would be tested, but he has shown the potential that is needed to put him in the conversation of some of the best players in the NEL. There obviously isn't much to talk about when it comes to Yukima though, but I'm sure he will be a key player in the upcoming match against PXG, especially since he's slowly lost that pace he picked up against the Manchester City. At the number 9 spot, we got Ryomik. Once again, a character who has somewhat got a breakthrough in one chapter, the match against Bayern Munich, but has since then underperformed in my opinion. Ryo is still one of the best players in the NEL, though stats-wise, it seems the opposite, but once again, I believe he's definitely a player nobody should write off. He has arguably one of the most broken weapons in bluelock, that weapon being the copy ability, and with the potential such an ability has, I won't want for it to be wasted like it has been. But I feel real fans shouldn't lose hope as he might get the development he needs in the future. Though in the meantime, all we can do is wait. At number 8 is Nagi. Once again, Nagi and Ryo share a similar dilemma as both of them have stunted in growth. But despite all this, Nagi is still definitely a contender for title of the best NEO player, though he currently doesn't compare much to those who we will see at the top of the list. It's once again, he's a character with superhuman potential, and it has more or less been hinted in the recent chapters of the Bluelock manga that he and Ryo's next match might be the catalyst of their growth. But we'll have to wait till then to find out. If you want more about Nagi's decline in performance, be sure to check out this video on my channel. At number 7 is Rensuke Kigami, and with another upset. Some of you might be thinking, Kigami over Nagi? No way, this guy must be on something. Well, I get where you're coming from, but no, I didn't put Kigami over Nagi. They are more or less in the same spot for me, so you could put both of them as 7 or 8 either way. But both in terms of raw physical and potential abilities are monsters, but have yet to find a way to execute their abilities. Though for Kigami, there have been no signs of him finding said missing link. But like anyone who knows his history, they will know that the match against PXG might be just what he needs to get back in the race of the best, as he will be confronting his old nemesis, who happens to be number 6 on this list. Okay, up next at number 6, we have Shido Ryose. Now I know this probably annoyed some Kunigami fans, but I think I speak for everybody when I say Shido is currently better than Kunigami. Like seriously, though we don't have the stats, I believe Shido currently has more goals than Kunigami, and I know that Kunigami isn't the best position at Bastard, but he isn't being supplied enough passes to produce goals. But then again, Shido is working as a striker duo with Rin, who is more or less his polar opposite, yet PXG has been unbeaten throughout the entire NEL. The only other team to put up such stats are Bastard Munich. Kigami though is a key player. I wouldn't say he's one of the reasons that Bastard are this good. What I will say is he definitely contributed. Well, other than that, Bastard, we all know it takes a special someone to bring out the beast within Shido, that being Itoshise, but he isn't in the Bluelock, so I think Shido deserves his roses. Donning the number 5 spot is none other than the Pink Panther, Hyoma Chiguri, who has taken over the role of Nagi and has become the new ace of Manshine City, at least in my opinion. During the match against Bastard Munich, Chiguri gave more than 100%, being the first person to score, and not only that, but also being the player that could change the tide of the match anytime he got the ball. Although Manshine City has been in the mud for quite some time now, I think it's clear Chiguri is doing his very best, and in order for his team to succeed, his teammates are going to need to step up. Chiguri has improved a lot since entering the NEL, and I don't think he's going to slow down anytime soon. Yeah, and at the number 4 spot is the mini Ronaldinho, Meguro Bacha. Yeah, although Barca has been in a raw spot throughout the NEL, but that doesn't come down to the lack of skill in the players, but rather the strategy the team lacks. Now, I don't want to go over all of that, because if I did, this video would be longer than I wanted, but I'll be making a video very soon that will go over their performance in the NEL and why it's so bad. Anyways, back to Bacha. Like I said, his team isn't doing well, but as an individual, he's on another level. He's probably the best dribbler in the NEL, probably only second to the likes of his master Lavinho. But Bacha as a player is that anybody should be afraid of, first thing, due to the fact that he's probably the only player on this list who can stand as a one-man army, as his dribbling lets him take on an entire team's defense with little to no difficulty. And he also has above average finishing, which means he's a player that is very deadly in the final third. With that being said, I still think he's growing and is most likely to get better, and he still has like one match left in the NEL, so I can't wait to see what happens. Yeah, so now we've made it to our top 3, and I feel that everyone already knows who these players are, so I'm not going to waste too much time. Let's just get into it. At the number 3 spot is the king himself, Baro Shohei. I don't have to go into too much detail about him, as anyone who has been keeping up with the manga knows just what a stunner he's been for the Ubers, and he has only been getting better in each and every match. He's an absolute terror for any defense, as he possesses both the physical and mental attributes required to get the goals he needs. This man is an absolute unit, and he is what I would describe as a perfect striker. But he still isn't done yet, as I believe there's still more that he could learn from Mark Snuffy. At number 2 is our MC Yuichi Sagi. We've seen him since his debut in the NEL, and I've seen how much he's grown in every match. In my opinion, he's probably the best player who has undergone the most development in the NEL, and seems to advance another step every time we see him, both on and off the pitch, with him not only catching the eye of other players but also some of the masters as well, and also getting acknowledged by Noah, the current best player in the world, who has seen Isagi as a player who has the potential to reach even the height of himself. Either way, Isagi has shown that he isn't about to stop growing anytime soon, and it's got a lot of people hyped for his final match against PXG and his rival Itoshi Ren, who also turns out to be, in my opinion, the current best player in the NEL, and that is why he's number 1 on this list. Now, many might say that we don't have much information about Ren in the NEL, and most of the information we have isn't enough to decide if he is the best. But let's look at it this way. Before entering the NEL, Ren was the best player in bluelock, and upon entering, we don't know how much he has improved. He's still putting up amazing stats, which in my opinion is more than enough to stamp his name as the current best player in the NEL. And I think people should hope he doesn't improve any further, as he was already miles ahead of any bluelock player. That's why I think he should definitely be number 1 on this list. With that being said, those 14 players are the best players in the NEL right now, at least in my opinion, although I don't know how much this list will change due to future events, but all I can say is that these players have definitely shown that they are the cream of the crop of bluelock. Well, the video has come to an end, so if you liked it, you know what to do, and if you want more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications. I've been inactive lately due to personal stuff, but either way, I'll upload as frequently as I can. With that, thanks once again for watching the video. See you next time.